What do I think about when it comes to the future of doggy on Mars? I believe that brighter days are ahead, even though that's not financial advice, but a $10 billion market cap, I'm still looking at that, and that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. Now, the reason for that is because, first of all, I'm referring it in terms of market cap because if I set the price, it would be overly complicated. But even beyond that, I believe that this is a very special meme coin. Now, before I take a look at why it's so fantastic, this isn't actually a crazy figure in my opinion because Shiba Inu back in 2021 reached around a $40 billion market cap. That year as well, we saw Dogecoin reaching over $80 billion in terms of market cap. Now, let's just let that sink in. At that time, during the peak of that bull run, there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners. Now, there's over 600 million according to Crypto.com research, more than ever before in history. I believe that this time around, even though it may not really seem like it because some people may think that the bull run's over, but I feel like the upcoming hypothetical peak of it could be a lot more special, and a $10 billion market cap wouldn't really surprise me whatsoever when it comes to something like Dog Elon Mars, because when I take a look at it, it's at least trying to achieve something. It's not this quote unquote useless meme coin like what some people like to say, because keep in mind, when it comes to Dog Elon Mars, allegedly they are creating a metaverse that is set on Mars by integrating AI to create immersive and interactive virtual experiences. So that's very amazing. When I take a look at Dog Elon Mars, I think in terms of the effort, it's trying to do more than Pepe. I'm not saying in terms of the community, in terms of the hype that it has, in terms of the number of fans. I'm not saying that. But I feel like Dog Elon Mars is at least trying to do something more. Now, some people would argue that, oh, you know what? Dog Elon Mars has to do that because it's not a big meme coin. Well, maybe. But then the way you take a look at it is that, when Pepe was around this size, what were they really trying to do anyways? Not to mention, they're also working allegedly on something called Rufus, which is supposed to be this very amazing layer 2 when it comes to Dog Elon Mars. Now, some people may be thinking, okay, who cares about this? Well, take a look at Shibarium, the layer 2 for Shiba Inu. Take a look at the hype it gave to Shiba Inu. Take a look at the attention. Shiba Inu already had a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 attention anyways, but then this just kind of added more flavor to it. It kind of added more drive for the community. So I don't see why it won't happen. Or should I say, why the same thing won't kind of resonate towards something like Rufus? Now, only time will tell, but I'm just saying, I think Rufus could hypothetically make a major impact when it comes to something like Dog Elon Mars, and also kind of in terms of creating a more tight-knit community. And I do really love this. Now, not to mention, if we take a look at something like, for instance, Dog Elon Mars is already listed in over 25 exchanges, which I find very impressive, by the way, because many meme coins out there, they have a very difficult time achieving this. Usually altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event, historically speaking. The last Bitcoin halving event happened in April of last year, so 18 months from then would actually mean around October this year. The way I view it is that, hey, you know what? The race could very well be far from over. Each cycle is going to be different. I'm totally aware of that. But I'm going to pay attention to that nonetheless. And for the meantime, I'm going to control what I can control, which is dollar cost averaging, anytime earned income, acquiring, holding, and just waiting, because I believe that better days are ahead, and I'm not going to give up like that. Here's the thing. When I take a look at Dog Elon Mars, of course, along with a bunch of other altcoins and also meme coins, it didn't do the best, right? Of course, when the market had a pullback. And some meme coins out there, some altcoins, they're beginning to have a pretty good recovery, but still, Dog Elon Mars has a ways to go. But when people complain about that, the way to take a look at it was that what I'm putting into Dog Elon Mars anyways was what I would have originally put into my savings account to begin with. So if, let's say, it didn't do well in the short to medium term, it's not like it's affecting my life in any sort of way. Like, I can still have my lifestyle, so to speak. Some people that I know out there, they're putting their rent money, what they would have put for their, car payments, their grocery bills, they're putting that into cryptocurrencies in hopes that, hey, maybe next Thursday or next Monday, this could do well. Well, what happens if it doesn't do well? You know what I mean? That's not something I would do. Personally, again, what I would have put into my savings account anyways, that's what I would put into cryptocurrencies. Because, again, instead of putting into my savings account, which granted, it's not like it can go down 50 or 70% in a day or whatever, allegedly. But then I am not a fan of the upside. Sure, there's a little bit of interest, but I don't care about that. The way I take a look at it is that I am willing to put that into cryptocurrencies. Whatever, let's say, Dog Elon Mars does or whatever my portfolio does, let's say it does okay, good, or amazing, or whatever the case may be, I have to be willing to accept that because that's the risk I assumed, or should I say the risk I took when I entered the world of cryptocurrencies. I'm totally aware of that. I entered with a clear and sound mind. No one forced me to do it. So whatever happens, I have to be accepting of that. And sometimes if the portfolio goes down, it is what it is. It's like, for instance, I run a marathon, let's say. What is the consequence of that? It's me getting tired. If I didn't want to get tired, I could just easily sit down and just not run a marathon. You know what I mean? But then I chose to do that, let's say in that instance. So I can't blame anybody but myself. And that's the same principle that I apply when it comes to cryptocurrencies. So again, when the markets aren't doing that good, you know what? I'll accumulate more, I'll hold, and I'll just wait because I believe that better days are ahead. And a $10 billion market cap, when it comes to Doggy on Mars, that really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. It's just a waiting game, but I'm willing to wait and I'm going to stay patient. And when I see a community this amazing, a fan base this passionate, when I take a look at the pretty good concept of Doggy on Mars, I'm not going to give up on it, and I'm still very bullish, and I'm still a fan of its future. I think it's hypothetically very bright. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.